Hello YouTube, this is GamerBoy. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on Nintendo Project 64, which is a Nintendo 64 emulator. It is really awesome, and I'm going to go ahead and start that right now. So what you want to do is you're going to want to open up your web browser. So in this case I'm going to open up Google Chrome, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. So www.google.com, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for Project 64 emulator. There's a lot of different places that you can download this when it pops up. Usually the one that pops up first is this one, so I'm just going to click on it, and there's different versions, and I'm not going to download the 1.6 version. I'm actually going to go to popular emulators and select N64 emulator. So, and the platform that I'm going to use this on is Windows. So I'm actually using a Windows 8.1 PC, a 64-bit system. You want to make sure that if you don't know what system you're using, you can always watch my previous video on MAME, simple installation of MAME, and that's probably a better place to start. But anyway, so the version that I would recommend that you download would be the most recent version, which is going to be the 2.3. So you would double click on Project 64 2.3, and once you go down here, you can see that people have rated this 3.75 out of 5 out of 704 users. The reason they've done that is because there's some technical issues that are simple, and I'm going to go through those, and it's really a lot better than that, but there are some technical things that you need to know about this. But then you would go down here and find the download icon, and you double click that, and what happens is this is going to download the zip version of Project 64 on into your download folder. So we're going to close this, and we're going to go, what you will do is go down here to your Windows icon and right click it and go up to File Explorer. And in the File Explorer window, you're going to click on the downloads, and you'd left click on downloads, and you'd open this window, and then you left click and drag the Project 64 zipped file onto your desktop and drop it, and then close this. I've created a online gaming folder on my desktop, and I suggest you do that. And I suggest within this that you put a folder for all the different emulation programs that you want to download. And here we're going to click on the Nintendo 64 folder. And within each of these folders, you're going to want to create a folder for your emulator and a folder for your ROMs. So, and you're going to drag the zipped Project 64 folder and drop it in the emulator. And what you're going to do, it's going to be zipped, and you are going to unzip it into this folder, and this is what you're going to have when it's unzipped. So basically it's going to look like this. I'm going to click on the ROMs, like for instance M, and it's going to look like this. It's going to be zipped, and once you left click on it in Windows 8.1, you're going to have the option to extract it. So you go up here and left extract and select extract all, and pick the location to be this file, which is the default location for where your zip folder is going to be. So then you got the zipped and the unzipped. So once you've got your emulator unzipped, this is going to be all the different elements associated with the program. Only one of these is important, and that's this file here, the application. You want to right click on it. You do not want to move it out of this location. If you do that, it will not work. But what you can do is you can add it to the startup menu, pin it to start, or pin it to the taskbar. I have this pinned to the taskbar. So, you know, and then you'll have an icon down here that you can select and play it right straight from, you know, the taskbar. So now once you've got that set up, you'll need ROMs. So what we're going to do is we're going to close this and we're going to go back to Google. And we're going to search now for ROMs for Project 64. So we would go here and click on ROMs. There again, you can download these from many different websites. This is just one that pops up when I when I do a Google search. So here is a list for the Nintendo 64 ROMs. We're going to download ROMs. So you can select different ways to download these. You can select them by the letter or number that they start, whether they start with a number or letters. You can select that there. You can select the list of all the titles. You can sort by the user's ratings, or you can sort by the number of downloads. But and I'm just going to click M just to show you, what you're going to see if you're searching by letters. So we're going to go down here, and all these different games here you can download and play, like Mario Kart. You click on that, and what you're going to do is you're going to go down here, and you will click on this download here. And what's going to happen once you double click on this, it's going to be 8.8 megabytes. It's going to download the file into your download folder. So then you're going to go back over here, and you're going to go to your Windows icon. You're going to right click it. You're going to go to File Explorer again, and you're going to open your File Explorer window. And you're going to go to your download folder, and you're going to left click on it, double left click on it, and you're going to open it, and you're going to drag the ROM you just downloaded as a zip file out of this folder onto the desktop. And you're going to close this. Then you're going to open your online gaming folder, and you're going to open Nintendo 64. You're going to open ROMs, and you're going to drag that ROM and drop it into the folder that represents the letter that the game starts with. So here's Mario Kart. So you would have this zipped file in the folder for M, and what you do is you'll left click on it and then go to extract. You'll left click on extract and then go to extract all, and the default location is back into this folder, and you'd select accept, and then you're going to have the unzipped version of the ROM, which is the game. So now we've got a game downloaded and unzipped, and this is actually the executable that you're going to use, which is a .n64 application file. So now that we've got all that done, you can actually open the emulator in two different ways. You can go to Emulator and Project 64 and click on the Project 64 application, or you can go down here to your taskbar if it's on your pinned to your taskbar and click it on the taskbar. But now when you open it up, it's going to pop up a screen, and it's going to ask you to contribute to the effort. And I suggest that you do, because they've gone through a lot of trouble to write all this code and create these programs. I would suggest that you do support their effort, and you would do that by clicking on Support Project 64 and following the instructions on their website. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait 30 seconds every time that you load this application, because it takes 30 seconds before you can click this continue button, and it will not work until you do click the continue button. So this right here is actual Project 64 emulator, and it has some issues, and I'm going to discuss those. But it basically is this: it's got good name, status, notes, and note default plugins. But there's three functions built into it, and that's the file where you can load the ROM, and then you've got the options where you can do things that are important, like configure your graphics plugin, configure your audio plugin, and configure your controller plugins, and then a help set option. We are going to go to File and Open ROM. Now this is different from MAME in that you have to load the cartridges in the MAME ROMs folder. Here you don't. You just have to go to the location. And here, like, we're going to go to the M folder, and we're going to select Mario Kart, and we're going to click the Mario Kart.n64 file. And it's going to initialize the plugin, and then it's going to start the emulation. And it can take a while. So there it is. Now you've got a Nintendo 64 and all the games. And something about the games for Project 64, the Nintendo 64 ROMs generally all work. It's not like MAME, where you have to, find one that works. So right now I'm going to discuss only playing this game using a controller of your keyboard. And you can use wired keyboards or you can use wireless keyboards. It doesn't matter. But what you're going to have to do is keep in mind the standard compatibility setting for this program is Windows 8.1. And that's fine if it's only going to be one person playing the games, because you can change the options here. You can go to options and you can go to full screen with one player, and it's not going to be a problem, because under your graphics plugin, you're going to know when you download it and it's under Windows 8.1, it's going to be under copy memory, your full screen sync, and that's going to be fine. That's not going to be a problem. But Windows 8.1, you cannot use multiple keyboards to play this game. Now I'm going to discuss having different controllers for this game later, but right now I'm just going to talk about using wired QWERTY keyboards, which basically everybody has, or wireless keyboards. Only one person can play this under Windows 8.1 compatibility, but it's going to work fine. Now, if you want to play this with two people and have full screen, what you have to do is exit out of it. Then you have to right click on the application and you have to go to properties. You have to go to compatibility under the settings. Now this is under the properties. After you right click on it, you're going to have all these options available. You're going to click on compatibility and you're going to change the compatibility to Windows 7. You're going to click apply and you're going to click OK. What that does is it sets the compatibility for Project 64 back to Windows 7, so you can use two keyboards or two controllers or two wireless keyboards as controllers for this game. So now two people can play this game using two different keyboards or controllers. There again, you have to wait 30 seconds so that they continue. And if you want to stop this, you can get a code by contributing to their project just by donating. And if you click on support Project 64, it will take you to their website and it will set it up so you can do that. So we got to wait this 30 seconds and then it's going to say continue. There we go. So now we're running this under Windows 7 compatibility. We're going to go to options and we're going to go to configure controller plugins. Now we can set up controller 2. All these things are going to work on controller 2 now, and all these things will work with controller 1. You can't have duplications though. You can have duplications as far as up, left, right, and down, up, left, right, and down. That's fine, you know, on this. But if your up, left, right, and downs conflict with, from controller 1 conflict with controller 2, anytime one person presses it, both buttons will be pressed at once. So they have to be distinctly different. But they both will work now. Now this is set up to be used in multiplayer format. And in the options, you want to go to configure your graphics plugin. Under the Windows 7's compatibility for this emulator, you have to change the full screen sync. It's going to come as copy memory. You have to change it to triple buffer VSync and apply and press OK. And the reason you have to do that is because that's going to set your buffering up so that you're not going to have a bunch of flashing. So it's going to be full screen and it's going to look just excellent. So now we're going to open it and I'm going to show you how this is set up now for two players, and two players can in fact play this. And in a future video, I'm going to set it up so you can play this with wireless controllers, wireless PlayStation 3 controllers, and I'm going to set it up on Android so you can play these on your Android devices with wireless PlayStation 3 controllers, which is crazy. So I'm not going to click on the full screen modes because that disables my recording systems. So, but I am going to show you that it does in fact work for multiplayer when you set it to Windows 7 compatibility. So I'm using the start button for player 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go click over for player 1, and I'm going to select two players, Mario Grand Prix, and I'm going to go to the 150cc and click OK. So now I'm going to use player 1's left and right buttons to select Peach, and I'm going to use player 2's left and right buttons to select Toad. And I'm going to go ahead and press X, which is enter for player 1, and B, which is enter for player 2, and OK. or X, you know, the one of the A or B buttons, the button that starts the game, and you can set those up, you know, under your controller plugin, under your controller options. So now I'm going to show you that they in fact both work for 2 players. So this should be for player 1. We're going to take off here. See, that's player 1 moving around doing things. Now we're going to move on to player 2. See, player 1 and player 2 both are working, and you can set that up, and you can right click up in the options and go to full screen. I'm not going to do it because it messes up my system, but the thing of it, it will work perfectly for you. And it's a really awesome game. It works. Now, one thing I have to tell you, because you both are not using any other type of controller except for the keyboards, you both will be able to control each other's characters. So you're just going to have to keep that in mind until you see my next tutorials and know exactly how to set up controllers so that that's not going to be an issue. But that's the thing. It's really awesome. It's a lot of fun. You can play all these games. I have to tell you, they do always say, make sure you're entitled to play these games. It's just like a disclaimer. So anyway, but that's it. This is GamerBoy. This is my tutorial on how to set up a free Project 64 Nintendo 64 emulator system. It's simple, it works great, and now you can troubleshoot all the little quirks that makes people go crazy because they don't know how to fix them. Now you know how to set up the screen so it doesn't flash, and you know how to use multiple players and multiple keyboards. So this is GamerBoy. Please like and subscribe my videos, because you know want to keep me doing it, you know, and I gotta, that's the only way I'm going to be able to do it, is to get, you know, lots of likes and a lot of subscribers. So if you like my videos, do that, and keep watching for my new or next videos on my tutorials to teach you how to do things. It's always awesome, mostly free. You know, I try to keep it as cheap and free as possible, and this is just awesome. So this is GamerBoy, and peace.